This sounds like something out of a spy movie, like Mission Impossible or James Bond, but it has become reality. Today I'm going to tell you how several pagers exploded in Lebanon. Hello, engineering enthusiasts. Recently, we had a geopolitical event that left me quite intrigued. Thousands of pagers exploded in Lebanon in what appeared to be a coordinated incident. Initially, I thought, could it have something to do with the batteries? Is there some modification that could cause the device to explode? After all, anyone who has seen a cell phone explode knows that it's possible. However, upon analyzing the explosions, you realize that the damage was too swift and extensive to be caused by just a battery. This prompted me to investigate how this actually occurred, and the feat seems to come straight out of spy movies. Here's the deal. Hezbollah allegedly ordered about 5,000 pagers from Taiwan, a country known for producing around 90% of the world's most advanced semiconductors. These pagers were destined for Lebanon. However, what makes this story particularly intriguing is what actually happened during the shipping process. At some point along the way, it is believed that a spy agency intercepted the shipment and tampered with the pagers. They discreetly altered the internal components, replacing one of the two identical batteries with a concealed explosive device. This modification was executed so subtly that it went unnoticed. Once the modifications were made, the altered pagers were quietly shipped to Lebanon as if nothing had happened. To help you better understand the explosive pager, let's take a look at how it works. First, the information I found is that the company that supplied the pagers was Gold Apollo, model AR924, which manufactures pagers in Taiwan. A pager, or beep, for those who don't know, is simply a receiving communication device, meaning it can only receive information. It's like having a cell phone, but one that can only receive information, not send it. It was widely used in the 1980s and 1990s to indicate that someone was trying to call you. Since the phones were landlines, you would carry a pager with you, and when someone called your landline, the pager would receive an alert indicating that a certain number had called you. Later on, these devices evolved to receive numeric messages, meaning they could receive messages in number format, and subsequently, they began to receive alphanumeric messages, which meant they started receiving text messages as well. You might wonder, why would anyone use such an outdated technology? Wouldn't it be better to use a cell phone? Well, since it is a device that only receives information, you cannot determine where the receiver is, as it does not send any location information or exchange data with other devices. This way, you can communicate with multiple people registered to a single pager number in various locations around the world. The reason Hezbollah chose this technology was that these devices cannot be tracked. And if you think this technology is so outdated, you might want to reconsider, as it is still widely used today. Want to see? If you've ever been to a restaurant or store where they give you a device when you enter a waiting line, and when it's your turn it vibrates and flashes like crazy, guess what? That simple little device is a pager. But let's talk a bit about the device itself. Essentially, the battery powers the entire device, just like many electronics we use. We have some buzzers or speakers, which are responsible for emitting audio alerts, a motor that causes the device to vibrate, an antenna that receives the signal, and a microprocessor that converts the signals received by the antenna into readable messages. Inside a typical pager, you will notice these components working together, especially the batteries that power the device. The point is that the acquired pager weighed only 95 grams. Despite being outdated technology, it already had updates using rechargeable lithium batteries, which were charged via USB Type-C. Now let's speculate a bit. Let's imagine we are a spy agency and have access to these pagers. We could take these devices and install a small explosive inside them. According to some international news reports, it was mentioned that the explosions would be characteristic of approximately 3 grams of explosives. Considering a pager that weighs only 95 grams and adding just 3 more grams, that would be almost imperceptible to the human eye. And just to clarify that I'm speculating, the space and weight required to install these 3 grams of explosives would indeed be nearly undetectable. Now, here are some hypotheses that might explain the triggers for these explosions. One possibility is that a timer was introduced into the microprocessor to trigger the device. This would explain the effect of the explosions from all 5,000 pagers happening simultaneously. The other possibility is that the circuit was altered to be activated by receiving a specific message. In other words, if you intercept the transmission signal, all the pagers could receive the same message and explode as soon as that specific message was received. Personally, I lean towards the second idea, as videos show the victims putting their hands in their pockets just seconds before the device exploded, indicating that it vibrated or beeped upon receiving a message. This suggests that they likely received a specific message, and shortly afterward, the devices exploded. There's no way to know for sure, as the devices were completely destroyed, and we could only understand how they exploded through an investigation of the devices or by being lucky enough to find a discharged pager that did not explode. However, considering the overall context, the intelligence behind this type of attack demonstrates a highly effective intelligence operation as it involved information, logistics, preparation, reduced time, and, most importantly, a significant capacity to cause damage. If you made it this far and enjoyed the video, take a moment to subscribe if you're not already, give us a like, and turn on the notification bell. If you find our content interesting, consider becoming a member to help us continue producing content here on the platform and be recognized in our videos.